Yo, it's Captain, bringing you a Star Rails Captain Log 2.2-8. The eighth day of working on 2.2. And we might have done it. But we're not done. But we saw the credits. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. So, what did we do today? This was the big climax. We finally got to the grand stage. We finally fought the big boss, and we saw some resolution. So officially, the progress we made today was from the third stage play, The Future of Penacony, in the theater, all the way to back on the Astral Express, preparing to leave for the next world right after the credits. And Black Swan's about to tell us a bedtime story. This is technically in the middle of a cutscene, like an extended cutscene section, but I had to cut it due to time. The recommendation was to see a little bit of the next cutscene and then cut it if we had to, because people wanted me to see the credits. They thought that would be good. So and we did. We made it that far, and I was like, it is way later than I intended it to be, and it seems like we're starting another scene, and people were like, yeah, there's more scenes. So we cut it. Next time we play, the plan is to play tomorrow. It's a not a guaranteed day for me, but I'm gonna try. My plan is to do it, and just if something happens, um, and we'll see what happens next. Now, it's a little sneaky because I've been using a long play to gauge my time, to gauge my progress, and to check things if it's like, well, I've got like 5 more minutes. Can I watch the next cutscene? You know, sometimes people in chat will be able to tell you, but then other times, like, well, they don't remember, so I could check that long play. Well, the tricky bit is we went from 6:18 to 7:25 on an 8:45 long play. So we know there's more. We know there's more. However, when we get there, we'll talk more about it. But however, we don't know. It could just be a bunch of post-credit scenes to set up the next thing. You know, maybe a bunch of meanwhiles for us to chew on. You know, maybe the long play goes and does a bunch of bullshit or something. I haven't watched the long play because I don't want to know what happens. Maybe my long play's screwed up. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a maybe it's a silly one. Maybe they go and start the event. I don't know. Unlikely. But that's actually not the biggest hint. We'll get to it. I do want to go in a little bit of chronological order because there's some really cool stuff, but there is something fishy at the end. And we'll figure that out, like I said, tomorrow, or at the very least the next time we play. So, let's go back to the part where we are more certain. What have we done? As we talked about yesterday, we made it to the Penacony Grand Theater. There's that big thing you can see from the Golden Hour. It's supposed to be where everything is. It's where the Charmony Festival is going to be. It's where they're going to have the big song and everything. When we got there, nobody was there, and Sunday was talking from behind the curtain, like, you know, come see me, but first you're going to go through this play, and I'm going to try to convince you to agree with me by telling you the history of the universe according to the Order, which he is just rattling off the days of the Order's creation, and then through the plays that are the history of Penacony. Last time we went through the past play and the present play, and today it was indeed the future play. The past was the prison rebellion, where they were able to become an independent group of people. But those dirty trailblazers told him to follow freedom and adventure, and that was just another prisoner, or that was just another prison, according to Sunday. So then there was the present play, where everybody was having problems and infighting until the harmony came in, and everybody, started following the harmony, and things worked out because they were more harmonious. But that was just another prison, according to Sunday. Right? Because he's going to argue for the order, not the harmony. So then we finally make it to the future play. And this one's a little different. He doesn't give you history of Penacony. I mean, obviously he can't. It hasn't happened yet. But his goal is to show you what the future could be. And so you go around, and just like the other ones, it's a map exploration with little vignettes, little mannequin vignettes, that when you walk up to them, they talk. This time, Sunday doesn't talk over them. They actually talk over themselves, which is hilarious that it's still a problem. So instead of Sunday talking, you hear Chancellor talks, right? Butler talk. They're like titles, they're positions of people, and they have a line. And then the Chancellor, it's usually the Chancellor, then says, "Oh, but we don't need that." So it's always, well, what are we going to do that we don't have a king now? And the Chancellor, for some way, says, "Well, we don't need a king." That's what it keeps doing. It's different things, all the way from, well, who will we worship now that we don't have a king, to who will make decisions for us now that we don't have a king. Who's going to fix problems. And every time it's like, oh, well, we can do that ourselves. Oh, we can make decisions for the people that aren't able to. Oh, we can fix the problems. Oh, we don't need kings. We can all be kings. Stuff like that. And I'm confused at this point, because I'm like, if Sunday's whole thing is that he wants the order to rule, that it's better, what is all this about not having a king? That doesn't make sense, right? You're just installing the order. You're still having a new king. If you think having any eon or path that you follow is just another prison, how is the order the most controlling of them all? At least his version of the order. How is that not the prison? So, and once again, you get to the end, and there is a boss fight with a creepy robot skeleton thing. But this one's all stringed instrument. And this whole area it's very museum like. It's very clean, it's very clinical, it's very quiet, and there's music. Remember, the order is associated with the grand choir. We know the choir and stuff is associated with the harmony, but it was actually the followers of the order that had the grand choir, and then when the harmony consumed the order, now it's got a choir, a harmonious choir. So we've got musical pieces all around. It looks like a museum. It's very clean, and then there's boxes. Oh, I didn't get a picture of it before, but there's infinite boxes. You just look into the distance, and there's perfectly aligned, just they're not cubes. They're the rectangular prisms, but you just you can picture cubes. It'll be easier. Just boxes, just lined up infinitely. Just infinite order. It actually scared me. It was an impressive sight to see. I believe people said it reminded them of Portal. It reminded me of the Indiana Jones scene where they take the Lost Ark into the infinite storeroom, where there's just boxes. But it wasn't messy. It was very, floating box, infinite pattern, right? So the boss here is musical instrument flavored. She's got cello boobs. She's got cello thighs with actual strings on them and stuff. Her head looks like a thing, and then she holds a violin bow, and then she plays music. The boss fight is she plays music and puts you to sleep, which is particularly difficult to deal with. particularly if you don't have two cleansers, and she puts your healer slash cleanser asleep first. Because that sucks. But it wasn't too bad. I don't know if we're like a little over leveled. I didn't, or if I just am playing smartly with the game. I always read the mechanics and stuff, so I know how to do it. Because one, it's fun to me. I like the strategy. But two, you know, I don't want to like lose 5 times because I'm trying to make progress, right? It's, you know, I'm on stream. I only have so much time to do it. You know, this is day 8, right? I don't want to sit there and lose the battles. But I do wonder, like, I wonder if my relics are too high for EQ3 or something. I might not even use the simulated universe relics, so I'm lower statted than I should be, no matter what. But I wonder if I'm only supposed to be like level 9 or level 12 with the relics. I don't know. Anyways, we did not fail the battle. It wasn't too bad. It's also tricky because I'm using March. I'm using my immersive team, which is the characters in the game. So Himiko, Captain, Himiko, and Trailblazer, and I named mine Captain. I can see it. I can see it listed right now. Himiko, Trailblazer, and March 7th. Look, I named him Captain not because I'm Captain. I named him Captain because it's a reference to Honkai, where in the Captain verse. And the captain goes into other universes to like try to save Kong Ming and stuff. Okay, so I thought it would be fun. He's now in this universe. That's what I thought. I just didn't name him Captain because I'm Captain, so it just made sense to shorten it the same way I did. Okay, never mind. All right, never mind. And then we added Clara for Firefly because that's what we had for the last fight, and I didn't know who else to put in the 4th. Technically, Firefly's not with us. That's one of the clues. Anyways, all right, look. I'm trying not to have this one be super long. I think the length is discouraging people from clicking on the videos. So we did that fight. It wasn't a big deal. Oh, but I was going to say, I never know if it's too easy because if I'm playing the shields right with March, no one ever takes damage. And the trick is, if people do take damage, I can't heal it. So if I play it right, it looks like it was easy. If I play it wrong, it ain't close to easy. It ain't even close. It's bad. It's real bad. So it's hard for me to tell if they're too easy or if I'm just playing them properly. Anyways, you beat it. You get out, and now's the big moment. Now you can come to the grand stage with Sunday. He like reconfigures the whole place so that you can rolls out the red carpet for you so you could go across, and it's actually kind of creepy. I did come up with a couple videos here, and I think I will show them to you just for funsies, just so we can have something to look at. Is this, why have I done this here? Just so we can have something to look at. But right, so you walk across the red carpet, and it's weird. It's weird. You see all this was like, right? Because at the end, the last piece of the cosmic order story was everyone rose up and killed the order. You see these order is dead, because once the order was done with creation, that's all I'll show. And then we go meet Sunday. Once the order was done with creation, people were like, you've done everything perfectly, but we are but your puppets. And so they killed the order. This is our second little hint that, like, why is Sunday showing us things about killing stuff, about not having any kings? And it's like, well, maybe it's because he's trying to resurrect the order. Well, you finally meet him on the stage, and he tells you what's going on. And he says, "Oh, I think there's a misunderstanding. I don't want to resurrect the order. I don't want to become an Eon. I want to get rid of them all. I want a paradise for humans with no Eons and no paths." And you're like, "Oh my God, we've officially gone full JRPG. Our mission is to kill God. We gotta kill Eons." But he's still going to be ruling everyone, right? So it still doesn't work. There's still a king. It's just him. And he's like, no, I'll make the perfect kingless universe for everybody. It's like, unless they don't want to agree with you, or unless they don't want what you're forcing on them, and then you're the king and you're gonna punish him and rule. You know what I mean? So he's just completely delusional at this point. He's just lost it. And the way the order works in, or he's just so full of himself. He thinks he's so damn special that he's the true king that isn't actually a king, right? But the way he wants the order to work is he says that, because I guess he's using the Stellaron, right, to do this, to give himself the power to do this, and he's using the order to do it to make the paradise. But it won't actually be the Eon order, it'll be him. So I don't know, like, he's not trying to resurrect the order, and that's how the present play makes sense. He's not trying to bring the order back as the new king. He's trying to use the principles of order to keep everyone in peace with each other in their paradise. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. Now, of course, he's the king of all this. And it was really nice because our heroes call him out on it, particularly Himiko. She's like, she actually gets heated, and it's nice because I feel oftentimes, I play on the English dub, and I often feel like she's played a little too placidly. I don't know why that was hard to say. She's played a little too placidly most of the time. Like, I feel like her character is somewhere between being a caring, like, mom type figure for the train, but also like a really shrewd, really cunning individual, like a very sharp mind. And I think she's usually played as the very placid, very calm, very caring mom, but maybe not the other one so much. She doesn't have like that sharp wit that that it seems like she's written to have. But here, we got to see her kind of mad. And I liked it. I really liked it. She really showed some passion, and it was cool. She was mad. She was like, you doing this, you're just installing another king. You say people are going to be free, but you're still subjecting them to the Eon's will. And he's like, oh, that's where you get it wrong. It's not the Eon. And she's like, well, you're not letting them make choices. It doesn't matter who is in charge of them. You're not letting them make choices. You're restricting their freedom. And right, as Trailblazers, remember, this is the girl that fixed the train and restarted the Trailblaze. So you better believe freedom and the ability to choose your path, choose your adventure, where your life's going to take you, is very important to her. Right? That's why she's the navigator. The navigator is essentially the captain of the Astral Express. Like the leadership position. She's number one. If it had hierarchy, which it doesn't because of the way it's structured. But that's the idea. She is, right? She's the navigator. So, right? Freedom is very important to her. So she is mad that he is gonna take over all these people, take all their choices away. It's great. We had a pushback from Firefly a few times ago, and now we got a pushback from Himiko. It was great. It was great to see that. Liked it. So then he's like, all right, I guess conflict is inevitable. Oh well, I'm gonna win. And then he brings the three play actors, past, present, future, the bosses from each of those, to come fight you all at once. And they have a new mechanic, this kind of harmony mechanic, where there's like a overarching boss that isn't actually there, but every time you hurt them, it takes damage. So basically, you still have to defeat them all, and it'll defeat the harmony between them as well. But it does other things, and so it like buffs them, and it like brings them out of stun, and it does things to you. And the idea behind this fight is it really benefits weakness break, and this is good because they just gave you Harmony Trailblazer, who has a bunch of buffs for when things are weakness broken. So like they're playing on that, and I think that's great because they could have made the fight for anything. I think it's fantastic to make it thematic for the new thing they just gave you in the story, so that people like me who wants to play with the new thing they just gave us, it works. Do you have to use Harmony Trailblazer? No. But is it going to benefit you if you do? Yes. Do you need him to win? No. But can you play him so you can have a fun, immersive experience and so they can play up the thing so that the gameplay and the story like line up? Yeah, and it's great, and I loved it. Himiko is also clutch here because she can hit all three of them, and there was some like weird thing going on where every time a weakness broke one, since they're like linked or something, or I don't know, maybe I got a buff on Himiko, I don't realize, but she would get her pizza cutter like every time. So we really locked them down. The whole fight is about keeping them weakness broken, because if you can weakness break all three of them at the same time, they take a big spike of damage, and it delays their wake up. And probably one of them will wake up first, and if you can spike break him before the other two wake up, it'll start all over. So you can kind of chain them just being stunned the whole time, and this is what you're supposed to do, because otherwise it's pretty hard to deal with them. They're going to do all sorts of stuff. They're going to be sleeping your people, they're going to be dots on your people, they're going to be doing huge spike damage. So it's, you kind of want to get them weakness broke and keep them weakness broke, and then you get huge benefits. And this is important because this is technically a, well, I don't know if it's a door boss really. It's the start. Right after this, there's another fight. I don't know if you have to like play it again if you lose the second fight. I don't know if it's really a door boss, but it's a door boss because when you beat them, here I saved us another scene here. I think I got this in order. Yeah, I did. I saved us another scene. When you beat them, you see this. Now I don't have it on sound because I'll have my cringe voice over it. I probably should put it on sound, but it's okay. They're really short. It's you know. You see this Sunday's yakking in the background, and he's resurrect. Look at this. He takes everybody, and he's like with all these souls, and look at him. They disappear. He sacrifices all the Oak family members. These aren't just mannequins, and he brings out Dominicus. He becomes Dominicus. Probably should have turned the audio on for that one. I probably should have. Whatever. I don't have clean audio. I don't have clean audio of it. I have audio where I'm yakking all over it. So he brings out Dominicus. The important part, you realize these mannequins aren't just mannequins. They're the Oak family members that he's been puppeteering. And right there, he essentially burns them all to summon the Harmonious Choir, which is supposed to be something for the harmony. However, he summons it in the name of order, and it changes it. So it's Dominicus. What's the name? Harmonious Choir, the Great Septimus. Oh, apparently that's how it changed. I think he summons Dominicus and he gets Septimus because of the thing. But so now you have a secondary boss fight. This is the big boss. This is the new world boss and everything that they've been talking about. And here he is. And he's got little choir buddies. And so it's a very similar thing. It really benefits weakness break. You can attack him. You can attack him right in the podium, which is in an awkward position. Kind of get like a shot of it. Because I'm sit on that tutorial for a while and then I read all the things. And maybe you can see it. Here, you can... Well, my camera's going to cover it. Oh my god, I didn't plan this part. Here, this seems alright. I'll just this up and play this a little bit. Surely we'll be able to see it. No, we're going to see an ultimate. There, just pause. Ah, got it. Okay. It's a little cringe. You see all the stuff. You see this podium? In an awkward position. Anyways, you could attack him directly there, in his podium. His eagle-shaped podium. Whatever. It was just weird. Okay, it was uncomfortable. But you can attack him directly this time. But he has the same kind of linking with his little spirits that you just did with the triple boss fight, where there's some sort of sharing between health. So again, Erudition's going to help you. Himiko came in clutch here because everything's weak to fire. March and Clara were not helpful. Clara was helpful in the previous fight because people were weak to physical. Nobody's weak to physical here. So March and Clara were pretty not great. I did use March for some shields, but there's also a mechanic where you get a shield from him if you break. He has 3 toughness bars. And if you break, anytime you break one of them, you get a little shield of your own. It doesn't last too long, so it's not like you don't need a healer. But I very quickly switched from using skill points on March to do shields to using skill points on Trailblazer to get weakness breaks, because those weakness breaks are really important. Because one of his big attack is he commands all of his little choir members to blast you, and the way you avoid that is you have them all weakness broken or murdered. I think if you murder, I didn't actually manage to murder them all, but I think if you murder them, he takes like a big spike damage or something. I forget what it said. It tells you there's something about he resurrects them all and takes some damage when he resurrects them all, I think is what it is. But I was able to keep him locked down with Trailblazer, who's imaginary in Harmony and does extra weakness break on his skill, or does extra toughness damage on his skill, and Himiko with the pizza cutters and the her ultimate laser beam and stuff. So we were able to really do some damage, and weirdly enough, he didn't even have a phase 2. Because of course we beat him. Of course we beat him. But he didn't have a phase 2. Because of course we beat him. The triple before him had 2 phases, and then we had to fight him right after, so he's kind of phase 3 already. So it makes sense he doesn't have a phase 2, right? Right. Makes sense. Interestingly enough, there is an odd comment during the fight where you gotta remember Sunday and Robin have the ability to mind control you with their halo powers to calm you down. First time you entered Golden Hour, Robin, did the hypno eyes and did that for you. But they all can do that. Sunday could do that too. And in the fight, March mentions she's seen another world. And Himiko's like, that's the tuning. He's trying to tune you. Don't fall for it. They just say it at the beginning of the fight. And then it's never talked about again. But don't worry about that. Surely we beat him. Surely we beat him. I'm sure. Well, of course we did. Of course we did. Of course we did. Okay, I'll prove it. Look, I'll prove it. I wasn't going to show all these, but look, I'm just having way too much fun with this. Look, we beat him. Battle over. And then you see this awesome cutscene, which also won't have sound because I'm like yakking over it. But look, the dragon comes in. And it's amazing. And you're like, what? And he dies, and the whole Cloud Knights show up. What's the name of them? Cloud something. They all show up. The general's there. He does his line. And then it's just like he's fighting with his old friend. And then the guy gets, minor spelling mistake, and it's gone. And then we wake up in reality. Then we wake up in reality. Because that's what would happen. We'd get knocked out and instantly wake up in reality. No one else had any problems, but we got knocked out. And we woke up. So okay, look. Already 1, very cool cutscene. 2, already there's a lot of problems. How did the Cloud Knights get into the dream? They did tell us earlier that Don Hung has planning on summoning the Cloud Knights to help. Right? We saw that in another scene. How did the Cloud Knights get into the dream? Did they all just go to the hotel and they all hooked them up to dream shells and they just took their spaceships with them? Now look, all right, I'm gonna offer a caveat here. I have not seen what happens. This actually could be the end, and I'm just going to sound like I'm shitting on it, or I'm like an unsatisfied gamer, or I'm just picking apart plot holes, okay? Because there's more. There's a lot more. I'm pretty confident that something's not right. However, I could be wrong. I could be talking out of my ass. and I'll look like a fool. You know what? Whatever. Because this game, in the past, one of the criticisms I have is that the story wraps up a little bit too quickly. Like the Bellabog um, interim chapter, we never got a Topaz battle. She just summons like some guys, we kill them, and Topaz is like, okay, I agree with you now. And it was a little quick. But you know what? It was a fun story. We had some good character development anyways, and overall it was nice. And it's like it's kind of an action story, so you got to wrap it up sometime. You don't want to drag on too long. So it's like whatever. I missed that fight, but whatever. Some of the other chapters have done that too, where things just wrap up a little too quickly. Things resolve, which is there's just like you wish there were just a couple more scenes to make to get you to give you a little more transition. So whatever. So maybe they figured the story was long enough. They wanted to wrap it up. They wanted to have a cool action scene, and they just wanted to be like, everything's good now. We're fine. I don't think that's what's happened, but look, just in case, I will say it's not terrible. I would have wished for there to be a little bit more. Everything's tied up a little bit too nicely in a bow. Everything's moved a little quickly, and like I said, sometimes the game's done that before. But honestly, it's never bothered me that much because what we have had has been really good, and so I just it just left me wanting. I wish there was a little bit more to have a little smoother story arcs and stuff like that. So if this one's just that too, I had a great time. It was fun. It was great. I wish there was a little more smoothing, but it's not the end of the world. However, I thought they had fixed that because Penacony's story has been huge. It has not been lacking in scenes. Until now, where everything just ties up nicely in a little bowl. Because you do that. And then March wakes you up. And she says, wow, you passed out, but we won. And you're a hero. And you're like, okay. And then Black Swan tele talks to you and says, come over there, and you go see Black Swan. And she's like, oh, this has been nice. Here, let's everything's worked out. Let's walk and talk. And she takes you over to Don and Boot Hill. I always imagine the word, and then I see it written Dan, and then I read the word, but it's Don. If I just thought of his name, I just thought it up. Anyway, so it's Don and Boot Hill. Boot Hill calls you a hero. And you're like, right? And Black Swan says, everybody's here and is worried about you in the hotel because you're a hero of Penacony. And it's like, why am I the hero? Why is Kalis the hero? Didn't all three of us fight Dominicus? The Astral Express itself? Why is it just Kalis? But it doesn't matter because everything's working out. Everything's great. Boot Hill's fine. Then in the introductions of Boot Hill, Black Swan says, oh, I met Boot Hill while we were chasing down a certain individual. And you're like, who's that individual? And we as the players know that's Acheron. The characters don't know that. They're like, can't remember. And everybody's like, well, don't you think that's weird? And he's like, yeah, but whatever. Everything worked out. It's great. So you move on. You move on because you know what? You won. Everything's fine. Everything's great. You win. We don't need to worry about it. Acheron's weird. Maybe she just doesn't want anybody to remember her. We've had trouble remembering her in the past. Remember the very first scene before you even get to Penacony, you end up in a dream with Acheron. She's like, you won't remember me, but this is what has to happen. I really want to go back and watch that scene because I feel like it's a cyclical thing. By the time, the very end, like I think it's gonna match up. But so maybe she just wanted everybody to forget her and she walked off. Maybe the memo keeper did something for her. Who knows? Whatever. Everything worked out, it's fine. So then you go meet up with Himiko and Welp, who's also with the general, Jingyuan. And I'm gonna be honest, it's just great to see him again. Just 1000% great to see him again. Very fun. He talks about how the Shanzou is gonna handle all the the peace talks, because you've got the Harmony, the family here, and you've got the IPC here who's been trying to buy the place out the whole time. And there's just gonna have some peace talks. He says Sunday's been deposed as the Oak family head. The family's declared the order traitors and a rebellion, so they've rejected them, and so they're still in control. The family itself is still in control. And to be fair, it doesn't seem like just a play. It seemed like it was just the Oak family, and we don't even know if the Oak family was all on board. It's just that the Dream Master was able to exert control over them. So the rest of everybody's not necessarily following the order. It's just essentially like a cult uprising. So, okay, so the family still wants to be in control of Penacony. IPC still wants it. So yeah, there's going to need to be some peace talks. And the general's like, don't worry, we'll do it. We've always, the Shanzo has always been very reasonable, and peace is the most important thing. This is a theme that keeps popping up, reason and peace. And I was like, is the Shanzo reasonable? Is that a thing they do? I mean, I guess everybody wants peace, right? But why does everyone want peace so much now? Why is everybody thinking, doesn't matter what path you're on, people keep talking about peace and reason? Seems a little orderly to me, if you ask me. But you have a nice little reunion, and he says, oh, you know what, we're about to go to have our negotiations with the IPC, and they requested you come. So we go, and we show up, and it's Aventurine. He's back. It's Topaz, she's there. It's Dr. Ratio, everybody's here. IPC, everybody's here. You talk to them, and they're like, okay, we come to the negotiating table, and we've decided as the IPC, with the majority vote, that what we're going to do is we're going to completely, in the interest of intergalactic peace, we're going to let the family run everything, and we're going to do everything we can to help get Penacony back on his feet. I mean, it sounds like the IPC. We even asked them, so what do you get out of it? And they're like, you know what? Sometimes you just take one for the team.
This is not what the IPC does.
But you know what? Even Welt's like, that's a little weird. But you know what? At least we won. Peace is good. We don't need to think about it too hard. Even Dr. Ratio is like, you know what? The Intelligentsia Guild, just like the Genius Society, has decided that Penacony is really important, and we're going to help too. And then Skrullum shows up, and he says, yes, we at the Genius Society will also help. I was like, why are the Intelligentsia Guild and the Genius Society all of a sudden friends and working together? And then Skrullum says he's going to shut down the simulated universe, which is a game mode. He says he's going to stop research on the simulated universe because understanding and helping Penacony is more important. It'll bring more peace to the universe. It's like, they wouldn't shut down a game mode. But you know what? Whatever, it worked out. We saved the day. We're heroes. So then we go back to the train. Because what else are we going to do? We won. We saved it. We go back to the train to pick the next destination. We're about to pick chapter 4. Because of course we are. We just beat chapter 3. So we're gonna go chapter 4. This is so messed up. Where's Firefly? I don't know. Where's Firefly? Don't know. Not there. Where's Acheron? Don't know. Not there, don't matter. Firefly left and said she had something very important to do that was going to be crucial to our success. We have not seen her. She has not appeared. She isn't anywhere. She has not done anything. There has been no crucial to success. But whatever, we won, man. Let's go pick Destination 4. Let's go do it. So we go back to the train. And Black Swan and Boot Hill are there. A little weird, but they explain that they wanted to join us for a little bit, and of course, as the Nameless, you don't turn people down. If they want to get on the train, they get on the train. If they want to get off the train, they get off the train. That's how it works. That's how the Trailblaze works. No questions asked. You want to join the Trailblaze? You can. You want to leave? You can. That's how it works. The passengers come and go. It's actually a really cool thing. And to be honest, I'm down with having random characters join us. Like if Boot Hill wanted to join us for chapter 4 and then leave afterwards for whatever reason, I think that'd be really cool. It'd be a little weird if like the general showed up because he's got to go be a general. But you know, these more independent characters, you know, like Black Swan and Boot Hill. Actually, that's kind of cool. It would be kind of fun to have chapter 4 with them. So you have that little thing, and then Pom Pom says, all right, let's decide where to go. And he says, several people have suggested things. Himiko wanted to go to the water planet from the Watchmaker's water planet. Welp wanted to do the coolest one, which was the place where the Stellaron disaster first started and the beauty emerged. It sounded awesome. It sounded like it had cool histories, cool things to see. Then there was a distress signal that was in the Edo Star system. That was really important because the distress signal has just recently stopped, indicating something's bad, and the IPC has requested help. And then there was Black Swan wanted to see an asteroid belt that has the morning actors. And you get to pick. It says cast your vote. And so I voted for Edo Star. I really wanted to go to where Welp suggested, but I figured we probably should help these people that needed some help, right? So we should go to Edo Star. And Don Hung's like, you know what? You're right. We should do that. And March is like, yeah, we should. And then Welt's like, you know what? That's way better than my choice. We should definitely do that. And Himiko's like, well, if everybody else wants to, we should do that. So the vote was unanimous for my choice, which was a dialogue choice that I, as the player, was allowed to make. I'm sure I just got lucky. I'm sure I just got lucky and picked the correct chapter 4. Either that, or I, personally, Captain, have decided chapter 4 for the entirety of the video game for everyone, so thank me later. Because Edo Star is going to be great. It's going to be great. So that's decided. And then you have the opportunity to talk to all your friends, and, you know, March is like, oh, I sure hope this one isn't crazy. And I'm like, March, we're literally going to like a battlefield. Boot Hill's like, oh, it's sure fun on the ship. Do you got anything to drink? And Don Hung's like, oh, it's been a while. And Welt's like, you're an S rank Valkyrie, which I really appreciated that reference. I'm gonna be honest with you. Tell me about the Honkai, Welt. Tell me about the Honkai. You're the only connection, Welt. You gotta tell me. But I thought it was really nice he called us S rank. Again, why are they flattering us so much? We're not the heroes. The Astral Express is the heroes. Not us. Why is everyone flattering us? Even Welt's flattering us? And then you could talk to Himiko. I honestly forgot what Himiko said. Which is odd, because I even watched the video. I watched the long play to refresh myself. I did skip the part of the long play where he made the choice, because I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know. I want to live in my delusion that I chose chapter 4 for the entire video game. And then you go talk to Black Swan. And Black Swan just has a conversation with you about how you feel about Penacony. And you get another strange option menu when she asks you how you felt about your adventure. You get options like, it was fun. I'm ready for more. Okay. You get options like, oh, what's the second one? Oh, I was going to give you them all. Well, I've forgotten the second one. But it's like, you get options like, seems like it was a little quick. You get options like, seems like there's still loose ends. You get options like, that was a Deus Ex Machina, which means it was a bad story. Ending. You get options like, oh, I'm going to mark too easy on the survey this time. Every single one of these options indicates the story is not over. every single one. Even the positive one. Let's do more. But we won! We won. We don't have time to think about it because you know what? Black Swan talks to you. She talks to you a little bit and she tells you she wants the memento back that she gave you. And you give, I forgot about it, but you give her the card back. And I read the description. It's like, this is the parting gift she gave you. If you ever get lost in the dreamscape without her, it'll guide you out. And then she says she apologizes. It wasn't really anything. It was just a blank light cone that she could use to kind of like spy on you and collect your memories. And she did that to all your friends. And so she kind of apologizes for snooping on you like that. But, you know, memory's a thing. At least I think that's what it meant because she said a lot of words and it was a little bit confusing. And I'm already thrown for a loop because what the hell's going on? But again, doesn't matter because you know what? Black Swan narrates the ending, says in the year 20 whatever, Amber Era. I forget the number. Everything was fixed. Everything's fine. People, the people who are dead are sleeping. The people who are awake are sleeping, and everyone's at peace. And you're like, wait, why is everybody sleeping? But everyone's at peace, and world peace has come to the cosmos, and peace is ever, and everything's fine. It's like credits for the whole video game, dude. Here, I'll play them. And you get to the end of the credits. You get to the end of our little speech. Look at this. Time marches forward, heralding the arrival of a new chapter in the history of Trailblaze. Penacony, land of the dreams. The end. The end. Honkai Star Rail, the end. We did it. Look, lead actor's captain, because we're the lead actor. Not anybody else. Not Himiko, not March. Just us. We're the heroes. No, everyone else is our co-stars. We got credits. It's over. We beat it. Stop with your questions. There's no questions to be had. I did appreciate the script supervisor, Zelio. What do you mean? What do you have questions for? That's the credits. It's the credits. We beat it. It's done. Oh, my camera's blocking this. May this journey lead us starward. That's the line. As you can see, Black Swan continues afterwards. And this is Black Swan continues afterwards, and she tells you, I'm going to tell you a bedtime story. Now, this is relevant because right before the credits rolled, she said, oh, I see you still have questions, but this isn't the time for them. Maybe I'll tell you, maybe there's some time, you know, when you're drifting off to sleep and it's the right time for you to dream. I'll take you to a dark room, we'll set up some candles, and I'll tell you a bedtime story. And then Pom Pom's like, all right, it's ready, it's time to go. And she's like, but we'll do that later. And it plays the credits. And then you see this dialogue from Black Swan. And basically she starts telling you a story, and then she says, I'm going to tell you a bedtime story. That is where we cut it. That's where we cut it. Now, I'm sure it's just a nice post-credit scene where she tells us a nice bedtime story. And I'm sure the other, what is it, like hour and 20 minutes in the long play is just more fun post-credit scenes where they're setting up our adventure to Edo Star. Right? Maybe they're doing some meanwhiles. Maybe we got some people trailing us. You know, I'm sure they're just setting up chapter 4. And, you know, maybe the long player goes and starts the event or something. Because clearly there's nothing wrong here. Firefly, what? Acheron, what? How'd the Cloud Knights get in the dream? Nah. Wait, why does everybody call us the hero? Why is everybody sucking our dick? Nah. Don't worry about it. Why is everybody talking about world peace? Why did the IPC not want anything? Why did the Intelligences Guild and the Genius Society all of a sudden work together? Why are they shutting down the simulated universe? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. You won. You saw the credits. What more do you want? Cool. You had a cool action scene at the end. What more do you want? Am I the entitled gamer? Or is there something wrong with this? It was a fine ending. I wish there was a little more to it. It wrapped up a little quick. But maybe they got to work on the next chapter, man. What more do you want? It's already been like 8 hours of content. What more do you want? It's fine. It's a little quick, but it was fine. I had a lot of fun. We beat the bad guy. I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling. How do I put this? This ending was just a little bit too heartwarming and uplifting. Just a little bit. But, to be fair, they told us multiple times that this is a heartwarming and uplifting story, so I'm sure it's fine. So that's the end of Penacony, minus some stuff that we'll play tomorrow and see. We'll hear the bedtime story, and I'm sure it'll be fine and fun and dandy. Because we won. We beat the bad guy. We saved Penacony. We beat chapter 3. Hell, we started chapter 4. It ain't even out yet, but we started it. So I hope you enjoyed listening to my story. We'll have more story probably tomorrow where we see what's next. I'm sure we'll get it done. We'll just finish those little scenes, I'm sure, and we'll be fine. So I hope you enjoyed listening. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope it was fun for you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I hope everything goes great for you. And I'll catch you in the next one, where I'm sure it'll be fun and happy and peaceful and orderly. And most of all, heartwarming and uplifting. See you around.